Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell.
Yo, be a father. If not, why bother, son? A boy can make them, but a man can raise one. Be a father to your child. Be a father to your child.
What's up? So we here, episode 2. I guess we kind of surprised ourselves for episode 1. We didn't realize we were going to get that deep. Right?
Manny's still like recovering from it.
I'm straight.
Therapy now.
I'm good. I'm ready for the
Therapy
next
from art
show.
therapy.
Yeah. So appreciate you guys coming back. And I don't know, what are we going to talk about tonight?
I actually I've been thinking about a few things from our last conversation, and actually been having the conversations with our friends and stuff about it. So, Kay, when you mentioned you and your wife had your son potty trained, what was it, 5 months?
5 months, yeah.
At 5 months?
Yeah.
So wait, does that mean you guys started at 5 months, or he was completely trained at 5 months?
No. We started at 5 months, and then but it only took like a
month or two.
Yeah, to get him rocking. So he was good. Yep.
So what is it that you did again?
Yeah, that's what I want to get into.
All
I
right.
want to understand what the hell the process was. Where's this book? Because I got a 2-year-old that needs some of that.
So the wild shit is actually my wife's sister. She has 3 kids, right? So her third child, she went totally AWOL and did no diapers whatsoever, right?
Ever.
Yeah, nothing. No diapers.
Yo,
That's a messy ass crib.
So there's this whole school of thought that you can have, like, and like I can attest to it, is that, you have a child and you can teach them like sign signals about what is.
Yeah, I've heard about that for sure. Yep.
So they can let you know when they got to go to the bathroom, what they got to do. So that was her MO, was like, I'm getting rid of.
And never mind that. What's the technique to teach a kid to sign, to know what that sign means?
I mean, you just let them. Yeah, you let them know. It's like you got to talk to them, and you got to. And so when shit starts happening, you start letting them know, like, hey, let me know when this happens, right? So for
how would they know what that is?
Because you're telling them, right? So they
understand English
for whatever just like they understand whatever language you're speaking to them, right? I mean. That's the mystery of it all.
My baby understands when I go.
Yeah.
More than when I speak anything.
It basically boils down to this. It's like, if we break it down to the basic minimum of, like, we take language away and we still look at someone and we make, if we're in a country where we don't speak the language, but we still make sign language, we still make motions and things like that, and we can somehow figure out what we're trying to get across. The same way kids are, right? Like when they're babies, like for some, and I'm no expert, I'm just saying, like, that's the way that it is. Like
they pick it up.
Yeah, they pick it up.
I think it has to be repetition. I would have to assume.
Yeah, it's repetition, but it's also like our relationship with someone and what we're trying to get across to them, and the repetition of, like, hey, do this, this. So for the listeners, if I'm like making the hang loose sign, like, hey, this means I got to take a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and for anybody new listening, we actually Skype each other, so we could see each other, and we're in different cities.
Yeah.
So we see each other, but we're there's only an audio podcast right now.
Right.
And if you hear any animal sounds, that's my dog Nugget in the background, which is my other child.
Right.
Right on cue.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, so basically with my son, it was like we heard the advice from her sister, and and she had some books, and I don't remember the names of the books or whatever, but we basically took that information and said, all right, we don't necessarily want him shitting on the floor, so we're gonna put some diapers on him. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, we don't want to have a 3-year-old and have him shitting in his pants, like, and still having to clean that up. So let's figure it out. And then, my wife definitely took charge and we bought they have those little small mini potties, that, the portable potties. And every time that he had to go to the bathroom, or if he, we just kind of like told him some of these signs to make, or if we started to see him like he had to start going to the bathroom, we would take off a diaper and we'd put him on the potty and let him know, like, all right, this is where. And I feel like an asshole for saying potty, as we discussed last last episode.
So you did do the sign stuff with your son?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, but it was more about like we gave him some signs, but we also understood like what he looked like when he was about to like go to the bathroom. So
Right.
we were able to say, all right, it looks like he's telling us that he's got to go to the bathroom. So we're going to take him and we're going to put him on the toilet and let him do his thing so that he understands that when it's time to go to the bathroom, he's going to look at us like, hey, guys, like, where's the bathroom at, as opposed to, I'll take a shit in my pants. You know what I mean?
So you guys use the portable potty
Yeah.
as the place where he would go?
Yeah,
Or you
yep.
guys would... Okay,
Yep,
so
yep.
that was the first step.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's,
sign or get to know.
Yeah,
And
but
then you got to take away that portable potty. That's what.
No,
that's
the portable potty stays for a while. Like that.
Oh, okay.
That's because, you know, the kids are small. Like they'll fall in the toilet if you try to put them in a toilet.
Right.
So you have that portable potty, and then you know, they start going to the bathroom in that, and then it's usually the pee first, right, and then the shit afterwards, and then you just kind of gradually go from there. So it was a gradual process of. He understands that he's not going to take a piss in his diapers. He's going to use this portable potty.
How often was there messes?
Not too often, man. Once it was pretty quick. It wasn't too often. I mean,
Do you think the times that your son made a mess was kind of like a learning lesson for him? Like, I don't want that to happen to me again.
Nah, it was more middle of the night action. During the
So it wasn't like okay.
When he was awake, it was.
So it wasn't. So it's never really about learning through humiliation.
No,
in a sense.
Nah.
It was.
No,
all,
I know that's bad, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm a child and you're
gotcha.
teaching me something, and then maybe I slip one day, I'm gonna be like, oh hell no, I don't want that.
Nah.
I don't gotta stop that.
No, it was all about. He knew exactly what to do. It was just like where to do it and when to do it, and any kind of mishaps were in the middle of the night. Like, we'd keep the diapers off of him during the day so he would know, like, to let us know, hey, I got to do this or I got to do that. And then at nighttime, we just didn't want to have our bed full of pee. You know what I'm saying? So put the diapers on him, and then after a while, you gotta take the diapers off. At least that's how we did it. Take the diapers off and make him understand, hey, you know, you can't soil the bed. You gotta
take care of business.
Either go to take a piss at night before you go to sleep, or wake up in the middle of the night and wake us up, and we'll handle business. That kind of thing. So
Go ahead, Manny.
No, so I just want to recap because I'm going through this right now.
Yeah.
And I need to get this shit right.
Right.
So,
you talked about the
And
diaper
I'm gonna go
problem.
through it because you said 5 months, and I'm on 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you
you should start it, man. You should definitely start it. I mean, you know, if that's what you want to do. Right?
No,
'Cause not everyone
no.
wants to do that shit. So you know.
You want to do that shit because you think, I mean, we spend probably $80 to $100 a month on diapers type shit.
Diapers out of control.
Creams,
man.
diapers, wipes, the whole shit, right?
And not to mention, I mean, where do those diapers go? They end up in the Pacific Ocean in that fucking huge, you know, fucking
the
garbage bin.
So wait, so you taught him how to communicate. So you guys got on the same page on how to communicate the two types of, you know, going to the bathroom.
Exactly.
And then you got him the portable potty.
Yep.
And then you started using the communication to get him to use the potty.
Yep.
You would keep him diaperless throughout the day.
Yep.
At night, you would keep on just to protect, you know, your stuff.
Yeah.
Were those the main things?
Yeah.
And just consistency, I would imagine.
Yeah, consistency. And then after a certain time, after it was all right, he definitely knows how to take a piss during the day, you know, without diapers, and pretty good with taking a shit. Then after a while, it's like, all right, let me take off the diapers at night, and then you just got to kind of gamble with it and live like if there's an accident, there's an accident. But you know, he never took a shit anywhere else. It was always like any kind of accidents we have, it was always piss related, but it was never like
that's dope.
Yeah, it was never like I took a shit somewhere on the floor or anything like that.
When is it expected? Like, to me, true potty training, and I might be wrong, is when the kid's wiping his own ass, you know? His or her own ass.
I mean...
Does that happen yet? Like, at
oh,
what age?
yeah,
I don't even know the age.
So, my thing is, like, we put him... we started him in preschool when he was 4. Mm-hmm. And that preschool that we went to, they said that he's got to be able to wipe his own ass at 4 when they go into that preschool.
They said it just like that too.
Well, yeah, exactly. like that motherfucker's got to wipe his ass at 4. So yeah, so at 4 he was supposed to be able to clean himself, right? And he knew how to clean himself. Okay. He's 6 now, but there's times where I let him do his thing. But there's also times where I'm like, all right, let me get it correct because I want to make sure, like, we got to go somewhere, we got to do something.
Right,
you do your thing,
for sure.
And then let me clean and make sure you're straight. But push comes to shove, he knows how to take care of himself, no problem.
Right. Let me ask the maybe not $1 million question, but the $100 question.
Yeah.
Did you guys teach him to pee sitting? Did he learn it that way initially?
No, standing up.
He stood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Keller wasn't having that.
But how did he would go to the bathroom?
I mean, KGB, wink.
Right, there you go. I didn't even catch that. I'm over it now.
No, we should just expect that shit every week.
I'm over it now. Well, let's stick to KGB if we can, but if not, it's okay.
He's gonna bleep his name out.
Right.
Nah, but so you would go in the bathroom and kind of show him, and that would be the example.
Yep. Yeah. We would I'd take a piss. If he had to take a piss, we'd take a piss at the same time in the toilet and be like, all right, this is how you do it. And so. Let me double back because this just raises a different conversation a little bit about raising a boy versus a girl, that kind of thing. Like, so for me, I did not have a father figure. I did not have my father in my life when I was a young kid, and I have a good relationship with him now, but that was later on in life. So, the idea of a man in my life when I was a kid was non-existent I'm guessing that's for a lot of us, you know what I mean? For just to show you the kind of daily ins and outs, right?
Yeah, same here.
So for me, like, and I was never super kid friendly also. And any kind of exposure that I had to little kids was always little girls through my wife's, so her nieces, my nieces, by marriage, and one of our friends has a daughter that we help take care of a lot in New York, and so that's that's like my experience with kids, right? So when I found out that I was having a boy, I tripped the fuck out, to be honest with you. Like, straight up. Like, I was scared. Like, and I haven't really been too scared. I've been in a lot of crazy situations, and I've not been scared of those situations. But, realizing that I was going to have a boy, and I really just did not know. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like,
So you were more familiar. You would have been less afraid if it was a girl, simply because of your experience.
Yeah, straight up.
Gotcha.
Like, I didn't know. Like, man, should I? I'm gonna have a boy. Should I hug him and be affectionate? Should I? Like, what's the protocol? You know what I mean? I just had no clue because I didn't necessarily have that. That same interaction with men when I was a young kid, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the whole idea of, like, just learning how to teach him on my side of, like, learning how to teach him, how to take a piss, all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's just some different different shit to think about. Think about, man.
It's true. No, but it's funny because it kind of just it's not kind of at the front of your lobe.
No,
right?
definitely
That's
not. Definitely
buried
not.
back there somewhere. So when the shit hits the fan, you're like, oh, wait a minute, like,
Right.
how do I do that?
Yeah. And he's looking at me like, hey, Daddy, how do I do this? Or, what's the, what I do? And I'm like, okay, well, follow me. This is what I do, right? So let's do it this way. Right.
What's been interesting for me and just having a boy and two girls, you kind of get into this mode where, so like you guys, I'd say my father was more present than it sounds like your dad has been in your lives, in
Right.
your, the
Early lives, yeah.
yeah, the formative years,
Yeah.
if you talk
Right.
about it, right? So he was definitely around. So I got taking a piss. I could remember all right, him showing me the ropes or what have you. But me being a father now, there are gaps,
Yeah.
right? And things that I'm like, oh shit, I don't know exactly what the best process
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So you kind of fall, and this kind of happens organically, and I think you guys are experiencing or have experienced this. You kind of fall into this fake it till you make it phase. Or I guess now we had a lot of information at our fingertips, so we could probably Google something and try to get an idea. But generally speaking, you in the moment, you kind of go with your gut.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I find that to be the right move, even if you're not really too clear on it. Because the kids, my son is 4. I'm sorry, he just turned 5. So he'll check me if he sees that something's not logical.
Yeah.
Which is the most uncanny, crazy shit I've ever seen. Because he has a well-rounded understanding for a 5-year-old, but if it kind of goes beyond what I think he should know,
Yeah.
with things that he's familiar with. And so between you and the child, depending on their age,
Yeah. No, you're right.
kind of get to the right middle ground.
Yeah, you hit on it with the gut. That's after a while, the way that I got over my whole kind of freaked outness, for lack of a better term, was just basically, you know what? I'm just go with my gut, man. I'm gonna go with whatever feels right, because I got everyone telling me all kinds of different shit, and I don't really have anything to go off of for, to say, oh, this is the way to do it, or this is not the way to do it. So you're right, the gut. It was just, this seems to feel right for me and for our life and my kid, and that's how, that's how I'm
Does
gonna roll.
does it ever feel like the significant other in the relationship, in our case is the mother, either acts like they know more or maybe has been doing more research
Not
than
from,
you,
for me.
and then kind of you're that gut, even though you might have gut feelings, oh, I'm gonna do it this way or that way, but then you got this other person going, no, that's the wrong way, or no, you shouldn't be doing it that way, or no, this is the right way.
Speaking for myself, no. My wife and I, it's not like we had much family around when we had our son, so we were basically both on, we both felt like we were in it together, and
Right.
we were just gonna go on our guts, and for the most part, we were kind of connected in terms of what we feel is the right thing to do and how to do it, and our communication is good to the point where we can kind of discuss and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, or this is what I'm thinking, and let's try to find a middle ground at some point, it's like with any kind of discussion, sometimes you have to let go and say, all right, well, let's try it your way and see what happens, and
Right.
or she might say, well, all right, let's try it your way and see what happens. So I think for us, at least for our relationship, we have a pretty healthy communication style, so we can let each other figure it out and trust each other's guts if we're not both totally aligned at the same time.
Yeah. I think me and my girl, since we're both, I'll blame it on Geminis, we both stubborn and clash and think we know it all to a degree. And there'll be times, and I give it to her. She is doing more research, and since she's nursing, she does have more of that connection with baby. So I understand all of that. But sometimes I find myself telling her, I'm like, look, you got to let me do things the wrong way too. I gotta learn. This is the first time for both of us, but
Yeah, you got to
I have
fuck up
be
to
able
learn sometimes.
Yeah, I got to learn by doing something wrong. As long as nothing happens to the baby, obviously. But that's sometimes we find ourselves clashing because she'll be like, oh no, do this or do it that way, and I'll be like, sometimes I'm stubborn, and be like, no, I want to get it wrong, if that's what's gonna have to happen,
Yeah, yeah.
like it'll just let me get it wrong.
And it's a little bit more difficult when you just have one child because
Right.
you've got that one time to kind of figure it out. So Manny, you got 3. So what's up,
I was gonna say it. I mean, my wife. I say our relationship and the way we handle things is more akin to kind of what you described, Kay. We tend to be on the same wavelength, and we kind of just factor information. But we take samples of information, and then we kind of make our come to the conclusion that we feel is best, probably with bits and pieces of the information we have available.
Mhm.
But in many cases, and when we lived in Cali, so my son, when we moved to California, my son was 3 months old, and my youngest daughter wasn't around. So she came to be roughly a year before we moved out back to New York. So for the most part, we were away from any family, and so we kind of were in the same boat. We had to when stuff happens, you got to just go roll with the punches and figure out what.
Oh, Jesus. Keep it going.
Mr. Professional podcaster there.
No, my girl.
But it's
walking by and
but it can be hard though, because you got not only you got people that are around you that think they know what's best for your situation, particularly I'll call them grandmothers and grandfathers who have have grandkids or should be having grandkids, because their way of doing things is so far away from the way things happen now and are done now in many cases. So they feel like they know the right way and you don't know shit, right? And so we tend to clash a little bit with the older school in some of the respects, because we don't for us, we want our kids to grow up and be as real as they can be and unique to themselves. Like their personalities, we try to nurture that and let that kind of drive who they are. And I think a lot of the old school, it was like trying to force kids to be in a particular box.
right.
So like some of the stuff that you opened with, Kay, and I was alluding to, my question, did you teach them how to pee standing up or sitting down? Like, to me, it doesn't matter, right? Like, but sitting down,
old school macho is gonna be like, better teach that boy to stand up.
Right, which is funny because, and I think I might have mentioned this to you, E. Like my wife, when I met my wife, when we got going or whatever, she started to tell me, "Yo, why don't you try peeing sitting down?"
I don't remember you telling me that.
I was like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
And I'm glad I don't remember you telling me.
Well, good. So you're gonna hear it now. So I looked at her like she was crazy. And I don't remember what happened. I think it might have been peeing.
You were like, "I'm gonna try this shit,"
and it was loud or some shit. I don't remember what the reason for the conversation was.
Oh, if it's the middle of the night, sit down and relax.
I think it was one of those situations where it was like late. She might have been asleep. I was peeing and it was loud. So she said it, and I was like, "You're bugging." And 3 or 4 times it came up, and I'm like, "Fuck it. All right, let me just give it a shot." Yo.
What, it changed your life?
I'm like 50-50 right now.
Well,
if there's not a urinal,
God.
I mean, you
got
got
a urinal.
I mean, geez.
I can't follow you there, bro.
Dog, it's the best shit ever.
Hey man, when I'm tired,
I need the extension of the body to let out all my fluids. That's the best way for me.
Middle of the night when I'm tired and I don't want to wake my son up with fucking water spraying around. I'm like, yo.
Yo,
that's new to me. I haven't gone there yet.
Don't worry, we're gonna send a camera crew. We're gonna document you sitting down peeing. E.
No, my dad. I mean, my son the other day, he was like,
"I'll send you some maxi pads, all right."
I try to get him to take a shit and a piss every morning before he goes to school, right? So he doesn't have to deal with that shit at school. And and he went to go sit down. I was like, "Yo, are you peeing? Or or pooping?" Right? He goes, nah, I'm just sitting down because I'm tired. I just want to take a pee. Like, why don't you just try to take a poop too, girl? You know what I'm saying? When you take a pee, you stand up, and then, you know.
Yo, you know what the trick is? I usually get my 2-for-1s in the morning, and this is how I do it. I get up, first thing I do, even before I brush my teeth, I get call it about a half liter of room temperature water, down that bitch.
Get that 24 ouncer.
Or get that 24 ounce,
Right.
24 ounce of Monster Energy.
Nah.
Yo, you drink a little caffeine. That's all you need.
Nah, yo, just straight up room temperature water. In about 15 minutes. BOGO, baby.
Well,
Buy one, get one. Boom.
This is about the kids, not our bowel movements, right?
But you can use that. You can use it to your
But-
advantage with
But
yourself.
all jokes aside, I see the practicality in it.
True.
And especially and for kids it's different. Like I
Yeah.
totally see for a kid. But I guess when you're a grown ass man and you've been standing your whole life, you know, and I'm not saying that of course, you know, when there's probably times that you, like you said, knock out a 2-for-1. But yeah.
Get that 2-for-1.
But yeah, that's not my thing, and it's like
You'll learn
All right.
you'll learn to enjoy the 2-for-1 of these days.
maybe I'll reach that bliss one day.
Come on, Macho Libre. You'll be all right.
Not about being macho. I'm just saying. Okay, it is about being macho.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna try the potty training method because we literally, in the thick of it, my wife we were just having a conversation about the portable potty, and we got like the kid seat that you put on top of the regular toilet.
Well, so that's like step 2. That's step 2. Step 1 is the one that's got it's got like a base to it, and then it's got like a little potty that's inside of it. They shit or piss in there, and then you take that out, and then you pour that out, or you line it with like a plastic wrap or whatever, or a plastic bag. Then you toss that out, and then step 2, once they get used to sitting on that, when they get a little bigger, then you take the potty, right, the seat, and then you put it on top of the real toilet seat. That's the transition spot. But what we still have is we take that portable potty and we have it in the car. So in case some
Just
shit
in
happens,
Christmas.
yeah. In case anything pops off, then we've got
it covered.
Yeah, we got that action for
Blazing
the car.
hip hop and R&B.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're still using the wipes during this transition because what else are you cleaning them?
Gotta have the wipes.
Right. Okay. So you.
Yeah, gotta have the wipes.
All right. Yeah. Did anybody here have any issue, just changing diapers? I know some dudes that don't do that, especially if it's like a girl or whatever.
No, I was straight, man. I mean, for me, it was like, this is my job. This is what I got to do.
Nah, yeah. I kind of I almost feel like that's the job I could do, perfect. Like
Yeah,
I feel fulfilled, changing my daughter's diaper.
Really, none of that's. I mean, it's really not a gross out to me. It was more about hey, man. I had a kid, and because I have a kid, these are the things that come along with having a kid, and this is what I have. And this is what I have to do. So let me do it.
When she blows some little farts and I'm changing her, it freaks me. I'm like, oh shit, she about to blow up. So I'm like trying to put the diaper on quick.
Oh, yeah. I got blasted on before.
No, my girls got blasted,
so.
yo. I'm lucky that I haven't had a blast yet, but
my son actually likes me to repeat that story to him now that he understands about this. He's like, yeah, Dad, tell me about the time where you were changing my diaper when I was a little kid and I did an explosion and it blew all over you and shit.
Yo, how do you even clean those stains? Those stains are not coming off of things, man.
Nah, they'll come off.
Bruh, not like for example, the straps on some of these things that it's that like
you gotta throw
those
that.
things are stained for life.
You throw that away after a while, man. Once it's not usable anymore, you get rid of it.
No. Once it's not usable, we're still using it though.
No, you roll with it,
I just damped it in antibacterial and pray to Guadalupe.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
Yo, not for nothing, but I'm the swaddle king and the diaper changing champ.
I thought I was, and then my girl said that the swaddle was too tight, or she thought it was too tight. But man, when I saw in the hospital, they were doing it like...
Yeah, they'd choke them out.
Yeah, and they're like, that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. I'm like, put her in the suplex. Oh, boom, boom.
My son hated the swaddle. He'd break out of the swaddle. That was actually the only time that my wife and I started having issues, like because we'd just be both so damn tired, and then we're ready to get him to go to sleep, get the swaddle on him, and then he would freak the fuck out when he had the swaddle on him, and he'd try to break out of it, and we try to get him back to sleep. And then he just wouldn't, he's not having it. And then both of us would be tired. And then whoever has him at this time, we're just fucking done with it. And we're just.
Yeah, we don't swaddle anymore at her. She's about to be 4 months on the 9th. And she was breaking out of her swaddle and waking up.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't working anymore. So she doesn't get swaddled anymore.
Yeah.
Yo, how does sex change after you have the kid?
Jesus Christmas.
No, we got to talk about this because
it's too soon in the podcast.
Fuck that. No, last episode was too soon.
All right. So
K's loose with it right now. K's popping off. He probably got a martini off screen.
Scotch on the rocks.
Oh, he got a fit or something. He got an OE. He took it back to the old days.
So I'm gonna say it's definitely personal for everyone is different, right?
Right.
So for us, my son, we've done co-sleeping with him, right? So he's been in our bed since day one. I mean, we had a crib. He was not feeling the crib, but I mean, both of us just liked the idea of him being next to us and being close to us, and making sure everything was cool. So I think it just depends, man. I mean, it also depends on your relationship. My wife and we've been together for 19 years, right? So,
Right.
We had our time as without a kid, and then we've had our time now with the kid, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you just know that things, it's like right now our focus is on the kid, right? Our child, and raising him and like enjoying his time. And we also know that there's going to be a certain time where, he probably doesn't want to hang out with us or have anything to do with, what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's like you just enjoy it. So
So you become like a monk, is what you're saying?
Nah,
that's what it sounds like.
You got to run out. You got to go to different rooms and do stuff. Basically,
you be doing some.
You make it work for your circumstances.
Right.
But so this is gonna get personal, but I don't care. What do you find?
Until somebody comments,
right?
Whatever, bro. Do you find yourself going from audible in the act to like whispering through the act, or was it always kind of low key for you guys? Because for me, I like to just let it all out. Sometimes I'll grunt like a fucking caveman.
This guy's like, Ave Maria.
All right, so thank you for listening to this podcast.
I will tell you something. The being like quick is now a positive thing in this situation. Like, let's knock it out the park as quick as possible.
Yeah, let's have some
crazy,
fun.
Right?
Let's have a little
like
fun.
Before, that wouldn't go, that wouldn't fly. Like it has to last. Now it's like, no, let's just knock it out the park.
But you got that shit in you now. Like before, whatever. You might get some times when you like the champ. You in there for, 30, 40, 50, whatever. But now you like, you hit 10 minutes and it's probably too long.
It's too long. No. I'm
like,
sorry.
oh my God. What if they hear us or whatever the fuck it is?
Time management. It's just, it's like.
You're paranoid about the child waking up and it's all over. So.
It's like just releasing animal shitting you, the animal instincts in you.
Or have like capturing that time to connect with your significant other, right? You have that time where, because you get in so much of the mix of like being a parent and like work and whatever it is you got going on, but then you also have to find that time, even if it's quick, to just connect with them on a one-on-one, and you guys feel like you're connected again from that state of mind, and then back into the
jungle,
raising a child. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Bum glad.
Yep.
I don't know why y'all just stressed me out.
Get ready, doggy. Woohoo!
It's funny, actually.
What's about
Talking
your
about-
priorities too, man? You know, everyone's got different priorities, right? Some
no,
people,
for sure.
Some people's priorities aren't even on the kids. They're like, nah, let me get my nut off, right? Like,
Right,
that's
right.
just what it is, and I'm not going to judge, but yeah, everyone's priority is different.
Slight change of subject, but the illest thing for me that just happened, not just happened something happened, but I got to hang out with my goddaughter, who's 21 years old, and my daughter. She was in town in here in Miami from New York, and it just like made me feel old as hell. But it was just super dope too because my goddaughters are the reasons why I kind of shifted from wanting a boy to like saying now I wanted a girl, and so it was really dope to have them, have my 21-year-old goddaughter and my daughter in the room together and then playing with each other, and it was really cool.
That's dope.
Super change of subject. Sorry about that. Just made me think about everything we're thinking about, like talking about just in perspective of time now.
Yeah.
Seeing her growing up and seeing her sisters grow up, and then now I have the baby, a baby daughter.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, you kind of see the before and after almost.
Right.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
I have another frustration. So we're all avid hip hop fans, some more than others. I can't sit down and actually listen to music that I enjoy, I feel like, at all. Like when I break away to go to the gym, that's the only time I can put my headphones on and listen to some stuff. And it's an hour if I'm lucky.
Right.
So
You're just talking about in general. It has nothing to do necessarily with children.
in general, but primarily it's because of the children for a few reasons. One, the vulgarities in the music, while I'm okay with them listening to it, sometimes actually it's not the vulgarity, it's the raunchiness in some of the music that I take issue with. And I'm all for it when I'm listening to it. It's all good for me, but I can't expose them to that. So like the other day we're listening to, the I Like It Like That Cardi B joint in the car. No? You guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly. I'm just wondering.
I just saw blank faces right
was-
now.
No, I'm waiting for you to expound.
I'm thinking you're talking about some other kind of, like.
No,
you know.
I mean, no, I can't let them listen to Helter Skelter or
right.
the gritty
Right.
stuff that I like to listen to.
You can't let them listen to it.
I cannot. No.
So that's too gritty versus Cardi B
Well, so
for what she's saying.
you're so used to the radio edit, right? In the car, we just listen to the radio.
Okay.
But we were streaming. I don't know what the hell we were streaming. Some one of these services, and it was the dirty version. So they're all singing along, and then Cardi B throws a bitch in there, and they're like, "Bleh," and I'm like, what?
Oh man.
And then she said some other shit, and they're like riding along, but they're cutting short, like saying the bad words or whatever. And I'm like, trying to play it cool, like it's no big deal. But then I'm like, yo, fuck. I'm conflicted, and I look at my wife, and she's also like, fuck. I don't know if we should be doing this.
Yeah, that's tough.
We
That's a tough
kinda-
call.
we-
That is a tough call.
It sucks, and the
it's-
song is dope. I like the song.
Yeah,
but it's
because
like-
you want your kids to hear some cool music, but on the flip side, you don't want them to. So what we've been doing is, obviously we try to find the explicit free versions of songs, but we can't always find that. And then sometimes if it's too crazy, we just turn it off. Other times we've instructed him like, look, if you want to hear this song, we're going to play it, but then we're also going to tell you what the bad words are in these songs and let you know what they are. Because, he'll hear a song and he's like, I don't understand everything that they're saying. I just like the beat, or I like the vibe of the song, right? I like the song. I don't understand everything. I don't understand why you're turning it off either, right? So we'll just say, all right, well, look, this is, this is the word. This word that he or she just said is is not a word for you to repeat. All right, so in order for you to hear this song again, you have to understand that this is an adult word, and it's not something that you're going to repeat and take it to school or whatever, that kind of thing. And I think you just got to kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't love it, but at the same time, I also want him to kind of vibe to similar music that we like, or at least be exposed to it. And I mean, for the most part, he likes music that he can sing along to. So,
Yeah.
so like his favorite song right now is "King of Rock" by Run DMC, and he just likes to rhyme those words, that whole shit over and over again. And that's a pretty, explicit free song. But there's other songs, like a Biggie song will come on, and my wife is quick to, or both of us are quick to just like turn off.
That off.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, keep it on.
I'll tell you one of the things that I'd like to think is true. A lot of the kids that I've seen, obviously I have a lot of friends that have had children.
Yeah.
For since we were teenagers, so I've seen a lot of different parenting styles, and for some reason I've kind of noticed, and it seems that the parents that were kind of like open and loose with it and let their kids kind of listen to stuff as they were listening to it and just telling them these are the bad words, you can't say them, this is an adult saying this, and even them cursing around their kids and saying you can't say that, this is what adults say, when you become an adult you can maybe speak like this.
Yeah.
I kind of seem to find that those kids ended up being more respectful, more well-rounded and understanding of these things versus the ones that were kept from the stuff.
Totally sheltered from
and
it.
point in cases, my goddaughters, my 3 goddaughters, they're great kids, really smart.
Paul's kids?
Yeah, they're wholesome. And Paul, you met Paul.
Yeah.
Paul would curse the storm around them.
Drink
He would
Champ
listen.
Sports, people.
Yeah, he was like he prides himself in his kids even knowing the lyrics to most of the songs.
Right.
And I remember when they were young, me listening to records, and they would be singing a verse, and it was an explicit version. But when they were, singing it, they would not say the curse.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope.
I think the whole idea is just like being present, being around, and being able to tell your kids like this is good, this is not good, this is what you say, this is what you don't say. But if you just let them run wild and let them hear anything,
No, of course.
So
There has to be guidance, but I do think there's something to be said about common sense being instilled in kids, and and them understanding, and not being like hiding these things from them, because then when it hits them all at once, it's like a candy that you didn't let them have. Now they want, and then they over abuse it, versus them kind of like growing into it, and then saying, I don't have to curse like a sailor, I don't have to be raunchy, it's a part of life. And I don't know, it just seemed like those kids grew up more well-rounded.
Well, just think about the normalcy of explicit language in songs at this point. Like if you go out shopping, you go into a store and they're playing music and they're saying all kinds of crazy shit. Back when we were young, you didn't hear that, but now it's like no one's blinking an eye, and they're saying the worst shit ever in a song, and it's being played, in a public area where people are shopping and stuff. So it's almost like you have to kind of get your kids ready for that stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's generational. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm understanding what you're saying.
Well, like
so
for instance, like if you go into if you go shopping at I don't know, name any kind of store that you're gonna go into.
Marshalls,
TJ Maxx, Gap, whatever it is, right?
The flea market.
Yeah, you go into a store.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing music in a store for your shopping experience. A lot of times they're playing, whatever's popular, and they're playing the explicit versions of these songs. So you go in, and there's the worst kind of language that you could hear, like in terms of kids being present, and that's just kind of normal at this point. It's like
So you're saying that affects him or doesn't affect?
No, I'm just saying it's like it's just a part of normal life at this point. So it's like you kind of have to, if you're gonna take them out into the public, that's gonna be out there anyway. So
it's gonna be out there.
Yeah,
anyway.
so you kind of have to prepare them and understand, like, damn, even if I take them shopping, they're gonna start hearing music with all kinds of crazy shit in it anyway. So let me at least school them on, these are the words that you're not gonna say. These are the words,
Right.
these are adult words, whatever.
But
'Cause
I mean,
it's
I'm
hard to
assuming
shelter them from that, you know?
I'm assuming you're talking about like really, really small children because at some point when kids have friends
Yeah.
and go
Oh,
out
yeah.
and have or they go to school or
Yeah,
even
I'm
if it's
talking about really small children. Like,
yeah, because
yeah.
they're gonna be learning all this stuff with their friends.
Yeah, but even that, like
And
my
then
son.
you might shelter them at home so they'll act like they're good, but really behind closed doors they're not that
Yeah,
good.
I mean, even my
Could
son
be.
is 6, and
You know.
he'll say like, I heard, my friend Mason, his brother Max, who's 9, he told us a couple bad words. Can I tell you what they are without me getting in trouble? You know, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, they're gonna hear it, but I mean, it's also good. It's out there. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost you got. I mean, and I subscribe to the same. Like,
Yeah, you got to find a middle ground for this stuff. I think is the way to go. That's my opinion.
my 5-year-old, he boys tend to be the more mischievous,
Yeah.
Early, and so he's always trying to be slick and try to do more than what he's supposed to. So he's the one that he's very attentive. So he's the one that'll come to me and be like, I think I just heard, my youngest daughter, he'll be like, I think I just heard her say the S word.
Right.
And I'm like, you serious? Yeah, no. She said, can I tell you what it is?
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
like, nah, I know what the S word is. You know what the
I
S
don't know what the S
Well,
word
actually,
is.
so
sancocho. Sancocho.
so the first S word right now is stupid for my son, but then it's gonna
Yeah,
turn
good
into
for
some
you.
other shit afterwards.
Yeah.
Right.
That's actually that's how
Yeah.
it started. It was
Yeah.
stupid was the first. But I sat them down. I was like, yo, look, this is what like you said, Kay. Like you just gotta not lay the law, but like get them to understand. Like, yo, you're gonna hear all this type of shit out here,
Right.
and it starts at home because
Yeah.
we try to hold our tongue, or we used to try. Now we try to keep the expletives to what I'll call the safer ones and not get super crazy with it.
Right.
But they know what they are and why they're not good to say
Right.
frequently, and that they better never say it in front of us, or that
Right.
we better catch them in school
Well,
doing.
Let's take a hip hop stance on it, a lyrical stance on it, and so for those of us who appreciate lyrics, right, we can appreciate an MC who knows how to get his point across without necessarily saying fuck
Rock
or
him.
shit or whatever, and can say it in a way that sounds like poetry, and
Right.
doesn't necessarily have to curse every other word, right? That's what we appreciated about lyrics.
Right.
So, that's kind of a stance we can take with our kids. Like, yo, look, these are words you're going to hear, but you don't necessarily have to, be cool and say it this way. There's other ways to go about it and say it, and, that kind of thing. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
yeah. Yes, sir. And on that note,
That's the shit.
Yo.
So on next week's edition, of
right.
Fatherhood-
Yeah, we got shit, man. We had 48 minutes already, so
All right.
flowing.
That's good. I would like to take this opportunity to educate the fans on our socials. We're
Are we up and running?
up and running, baby.
All right.
We're Fatherhoods Pod. That's Fatherhoods with an S, Pod, P-O-D, on Twitter and Instagram. That's all we messing with right now. So if you want to have us get to some other social platform, you're going to have to really lobby us because we're old and we really don't give two shits about much else. But yeah, so check us out, follow, comment. We'll start to put some stuff up there shortly.
And,
But that's what we are.
yeah, and we're aside from our own weekly convos, we're gonna bring some guests on here, talk about their perspective on fatherhood and how it interacts with their life as hip hop artists and celebrities and people within the culture. So yeah, should be interesting.
What we might want to do too, if we ever talk about any kind of, and this, obviously if we ever start having advertisers, people interested in sponsoring or getting with us, depending, we want to approve these products to make sure that it makes sense with us. But anything we talk about, like even like these potty training stuff that Kay was talking about, we might want to like add links to the description so that people can physically see what we're talking about, or even a YouTube link to somebody explaining some of these methods, whether it be the sign language, just different tools that people could go to and refer that are probably more experts than us on the things that we're talking about. I think that might be helpful. Another thing that I want to add is I'm going to definitely add us on crazyhood.com. We have a podcast page that has some of the like Family Ties and Dream Big Hip Hop and different podcasts. I'm going to add Fatherhoods to that as well, so people, if they forget to find us in other places, they can go to crazyhood.com and find us there as well. And we have the website for Fatherhoods that we'll set up and have it going to its own thing as well. All in due time, we'll
Booyaka.
our little podcast will do its thing eventually.
Yeah.
Grow into its own.
But right now we're having fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about anything other than that. Just therapy for us three to talk to ourselves about what the hell's going on with our family.
and cracking the door just open enough for you guys to hopefully give a shit.
Right.
If not, maybe chuckle a little bit at our stress.
Right.
All right. I think that's episode. Ooh, wait. This is gonna be very quick.
Holler.
I just bought a thing called an air fryer. Does anyone know what the hell?
I have one. I've had one for a couple years.
Well, fuck you then, because you should have told me this shit before.
Just the bomb, right?
Yo.
It's just way better than a microwave, dog.
Oh, yo, son, let me tell you something. Yo.
I mean, a microwave doesn't have anything on an air fryer.
Yeah, I don't even know how to spell microwave no more. That's just dead to me. Yo, I made the bomb-ass chicken wings from scratch in that thing. Yo, that's it. And I've had a struggle trying to do them joints. Grills, deep fryers. Yo, I've spent so much money trying to make those.
Nah, it's the best, man. I'm trying to get a new one because mine's kind of beat up now from moving around. But you put frozen fries or frozen whatever in there, pop them in for like 10, 15 minutes. It's like as good as fried.
Yo, and no oil. Like I don't use
no oil. No oil.
So anyway, I'm very excited about that. That's a new addition to the family. It's competing pretty mightily for my wife's affection right now. So I think she might actually be happy about that shit. So I need to go talk to her.
My girl doesn't even use it at all, I don't think. She doesn't see the use in it.
Yeah, my wife loves it too. So that makes our relationship even better. Yeah, so shall we close?
Yeah, we're good, man.
All right, cool. This has been another episode of Fatherhoods. Hope you're enjoying your life. Dukes. Beats, rhymes,
and diapers.
Yeah. For the culture.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell.